All right. Hello, it is Camille again, back with another Astro-Bash interview. Today, I am here with Maurice Fernandez. Thank you so much for joining us. So why don't you give us a brief introduction, who you are, and if you want to, you can throw your sun, moon, and rising, or any other astrological placements that you may feel like talking about.
Thank you so much. And I'm really looking forward to Astro-Bash. I think it's great to have a evolutionary centric
Yes.
event, and it's going to be great. It's a great season to also be in Southern California.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been leading, a busy astrology practice for now 30 plus years,
Nice.
and really got started when when I was 18. That's when I started to study.
Mm.
So it was pretty much my first job,
Mm.
and it came to me in a way, most of us were not asked whether we want to be astrologers when we grow up.
Yeah.
So things happened. People wanted readings and asked me to teach them. And so it kind of became a reality. Um, and I just said yes,
Yeah.
let's do this. I like it.
Yeah.
And so I put a lot, I was involved with art and music at the time, sound engineering.
Mm.
So that was left on the side. And I sometimes miss that part,
Yeah.
and I do want to come back to it. But astrology is definitely, what I can say. It not only was something I liked, it's not just something I feel, is a valuable service to the world, but it really helped me overcome a lot of um, mental issues.
Mm.
For
Mhm.
example, depression or feelings of alienation.
Mhm.
So I want to just say that because I feel that it's important. It's an important component of what we're doing, is to give people purpose
Mhm.
and to let them know, who they truly are, and they don't need to be someone else.
Absolutely.
So that's the short of it.
Well, I see so much of me in your journey because I am also a musician, and I kind of relate to astrology having found me and kind of like the same like accumulation of people like asking for readings. And I was like, maybe I should just do this.
Mhm.
So I relate so much to like the musician artistry kind of before life and then the astrology thing that took over. So yeah, I really see myself in that. Um,
There's just a side note on that, is that knowing many contemporaries and friends, there are many rock stars who ended up
Isn't
astrologers.
that crazy? Yeah, I know so many musicians who are also astrologers. There's some kind of pipeline happening there
I
that I
think
think needs to be looked at. Yes.
Stephen is also
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's so
in
cool.
that
So
line.
cool. Well, thank you for that beautiful introduction. It kind of leapfrogs really nicely into my next question, which is what kind of astrology do you practice? And you've kind of already answered this, but what do you think the primary benefits of practicing your kind of astrology are for both you and for your clients?
Well, it is evolutionary astrology. I
Mhm.
was trained by Jeffrey Green
Mhm.
back in the 90s, early 90s. And, it wouldn't be anything else. Like, it, what was important for me was the spiritual use
Mhm.
of
Yeah.
astrology. And that means not just answering questions through symptoms. You have a sun in Virgo, so you're critical, or
Mhm.
you are a Libra, so you're romantic. But it's more about understanding the fundamental spiritual reasons, the
Yeah.
understanding that the universe is intelligent, And the reason why you may be critical if you're a Virgo, doesn't take that away. But there's a reason, and the evolutionary reason is that you're here to discern.
Yeah.
You're here to clean up. That's your role. And so to me, that was the important part of astrology, is not just to state facts or to look at symptoms, but to go to the root cause. And I believe that's how people can change anything. Because if I say to someone, well, you experienced this difficulty, this challenge, and that's it, how can they stop repeating those patterns? How can they get out of loops if they don't get to the core? And I think that evolutionary astrology provides that kind of perspective, because it goes into past lives. And, I've done a lot of research as much as possible, because doing research on past life is not easy. You don't have thousands of cases to study. But what I came upon, what I encountered in my practice and my research, is that astrology is a tool that can take us back to past lives. Like, it's useful, it works. And the way, I did some of that was to actually look at charts of individuals whom had assumptions or premonitions that they were another person in a past life, and we could track the charts. And these were not necessarily, I was Joan of Arc, or I was Maria Magdalene. Yeah, I mean, because these are common, because people identify with these archetypes. These were more anonymous cases of reincarnation within the same family, things like that. And really very extraordinary cases. And so to me, to understand that some of what you're experiencing and the challenges you're going through is not just because bad luck or good luck, and it takes away from the astrology that is more like that. That is more, you have Mars in Cancer, sorry.
Yeah.
It's bad. So we want to understand why. We want to understand that the universe, being intelligent, doesn't come up with good or bad.
Yeah, that's really, really beautiful. I like the reframing of like going from the what to going to the why, right? The what is, I have the sun in Virgo, but why? Right. And I feel like you can play so much more within that second question. And evolutionary astrology like gives you the language and the latitude to then go those places. Yeah, that was really, really beautiful. To kind of change the vibe just a little bit more, or maybe not, I've been asking folks, what is the astrological misconception that is out there that haunts you the most, that you want to address or that you want to correct? Especially in light of astrology is experiencing a little bit of a boom, right? So there's so many ideas and opinions out there, especially on the internet. So curious if anything is kind of like a bee in your bonnet.
Well, I think there are many.
Yeah.
Some of them just minor biases on, we as human, want to learn, and we retain through catchphrases. So, you go online and you see two-liners to describe what Scorpio is and what Cancer is and whatnot.
Yeah.
And so there's, if you don't take yourself too seriously, that's fine. But then you end up possibly, leading to two-liners that have bad consequences.
Mm.
When you say, I keep seeing this, it's one of the classic one that, oh, you're dating a Gemini, he's or she's going to cheat on you because they're two-faced,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. And, and then we have Donald Trump coming up as president, right? As a Gemini, to kind of say, told you so.
Yeah, that set us back. The Gemini's back.
But most of my friends, Geminis, are very loyal people. And it's fine if you play around with memes and you know that it's humorous. But it's
Yeah.
another thing when you have people posting serious questions and freaking out because there's some two-liner, that ends up causing a lot of astrology prejudice.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, our next big challenge as a community. There's always been prejudice, but imagine that astrology becomes more and more mainstream, and that people are going to be hired, when we're going to look at their chart, and they're going to tell someone, you have that in your chart. We can't hire you because your Mercury is in Pisces, is in Pisces, right? And, we can see that happening. We can see that happening. And I hope we are smart enough to correct ourselves, before it's too late. Yeah. Maybe it is too late.
Hopefully not. Hopefully we can redirect the ship away from the iceberg. But I totally agree. And there's been similar answers throughout in me talking to the speakers in terms of like the fear or the kind of simplicity or the boxes, I think that a lot of mainstream pop astrology may put people into, which feels like restrictive and like not great. So hopefully reversing and giving people a little bit more freedom and space.
There's part of the reason this happened is because you have in Twitter, that amount of character allowed, and in TikTok, I don't know how long that is. And so people have to kind of be reductionists.
Yeah.
And reduce, dilute their content to match those platforms. And that's why, I keep with my flag, really encouraging more thorough education. And there's a place for social media. I see so much creativity. It's amazing to see what people come up with.
Yeah.
And we're here doing that. But if it has to also be balanced with thorough education, get your diploma, be tested, do something that is more rigorous.
Yeah. I totally agree. Speaking of social media, we've been in a kind of Zoom world for the last several years. I'm wondering if there's anything you're looking forward to in terms of being in person with people at Astro-Bash, or what that kind of just means to just be among actual human beings.
I am an conference organizer. I've done many conferences. I was the president of OPA. And so for many years, we had events after events, and I did my own called River of Stars. I'm also leading now a conference at Omega Institute. And so I know what it means to lead an event online. I know what it means to me, to do hybrids and to also do in-person events. And I can say, just coming back now from Omega, upstate New York, where we had 100 people event, and it's more expensive, right? It takes more time. The benefits are that you learn through your skin, not just through your headphones. There is something that is being transmitted that is very different because it's a more holistic experience. It's multi-sensory. And I won't say the most, but one of the most important things is community. Astrologers are very isolated.
Yeah.
Meeting your tribe and then networking. You're an astrologer, you want to be an astrologer. Not only are you going to make friends, but you're going to think about creative projects together.
Yeah.
Let's have an event in Northern California. Let's have a podcast. Let's do this. You get ideas. You suddenly get into this astrology city.
Yeah.
It's like it's a whole immersion into astrology, and you cannot help but be inspired, and to get ideas and to see, well, I can do that, and I should do that. And so it's extremely juicy,
It is. Yeah.
makes things happen.
I love that learning through the skin. That's so great. Like it kind of just gets in your cells. It's more than just a cerebral experience, but like a full body. Yeah, that's so beautiful. Well, Maurice, let people know where they can find you, anything that you have in the works that you may want people to know about, or like any conferences that you may be doing, like Astro-Bash. But other than that, where can people get in touch?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say we'll be presenting an Astro-Bash on a relationship and sexuality and spirituality.
Yes.
So this is a topic that's very important to me because sexuality and spirituality are often not in the same phrase. And to me, especially with Saturn, Neptune, coming together, but beyond just now, bringing back flesh and spirit, bringing back spirit and matter, and understanding how relationships have suffered because we have separated all these things. And, back in the days, to be spiritual meant to renounce possessions, to retreat from the world and to overcome lust. So, it makes us all the time basically deny our incarnation. So it's a fascinating topic. It has to do learning about compatibility, how to actually identify through astrology if people are really meant to be together, and if they are, on what are the basis, like why do we come together?
Yeah.
So it's going to be really fantastic. And other events, I'm leading a retreat in Bali next January 26th. That's on reincarnation. So you can check my website, mauricefernandez.com.
Oh, that's right around my birthday. Maybe I'll treat myself.
Beautiful.
Well, Maurice, thank you so much for joining us. I am so looking forward to your talk. I just feel like I've gotten so much even just from this interview with your manner of speaking. So thank you so much for offering that to us here and then at Astro-Bash. For those of you that are watching, of course, go to astro-bash.com, of course, to register for this one-of-a-kind conference, which I'm also kind of calling a retreat, so that you can be in the presence of such minds like Maurice. Thank you so much. I so appreciate you joining us here today.
All the best, and see you in September, October.
See you there. Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye.